morning, students. I welcome you all to the online session, 9th class CBSE. And we know that we started the lesson, the last shade. The last shade written by Mulk Raj Anand, a very famous writer, English writer, Indian writer in English, a very famous Indian writer in English, Mulk Raj Anand. So it is a very interesting lesson to start with, and you find this lesson in our supplementary reader moments. The lesson goes in a very interesting way. So it all happens, one small child will be there. On one occasion, the child goes to a fair, that is exhibition, along with his parents. The boy is just 5 or 6 years old, and in the process, while going to that exhibition or village fair, the boy was so much thrilled, was greatly surprised. Reason being, very important reason is that he is with his parents. As long as the child is with his parents, well, he is fully confident, and he thinks that he can do anything and he can get along with his parents. So it so happened, as they were going like that, first the child, they come across mustard fields, very green agricultural fields. The boy was so excited and he was simply looking at that. And on the other hand, parents, they were trying to ask the boy, don't stop there, come on, come along with us, like that they were telling. So he comes across mustard field and afterwards dragonflies. The boy was very, very excited, and then butterflies, and then insects, everything, when you are a small child, everything is a matter of interest for us. So even insects also, the boy felt very much excited, and afterwards doves, he wanted to catch hold of the doves. All along parents were telling, cautioning, boy, come along, don't lag behind. And the boy, again he joins his parents, like that it went on. Then he came across gardens, beautiful gardens, and as they almost entered the village fair, they found a sweet shop wherein a person was selling sweets, all mouth-watering sweets, and the boy was so much fascinated, and he said that he was just standing there looking at the sweets, and he knew very well that his parents will not oblige him, they will not buy anything. But in spite of that, he was just standing and looking at the sweets. Similarly, then he comes across garlands of gulmohar flowers. The boy was very much interested to have one garland, but the parents say no. And then the boy comes across balloons, a fellow selling balloons, so many colors, green, white, red and whatnot, purple. The boy was very much fascinated. But whenever he asked his parents to buy him one. Parents said, no, nothing doing, come along. And he knew that his parents would not buy anything. But in spite of that, he was just asking. He was really enjoying. He was not disappointed. But that his parents not buying anything, I am asking, so I am coming after so many excited things, but parents are not listening to my pleas, they are not at all considering my request. Child did not feel like it. He was just asking, when parents say no, then again he just moves along and joins his parents. So that is how the situation in the village fair. Next, what is going to happen? So next afterwards, the boy, a snake charmer, stood playing a flute to a snake which caught itself in a basket. Its head raised in a graceful bend like the neck of a swan, right, while the music stole into its invisible ears like the gentle rippling of an invisible waterfall. The child went towards the snake charmer, but knowing his parents had forbidden him to hear such coarse music as the snake charmer played, he proceeded further. Then after that, he came across a snake charmer. I think you all know about snakes. Sometimes they bring snakes, they keep it in a box and they play some flute, and the snake opens its hood and it also swings either way. So similarly, when he came across one such snake charmer who was trying to play with his snake while playing on that flute-like thing. The boy was very much excited, so he was just standing there. But parents said, "No, no, no, don't stand there, don't stand there, don't listen to such music. Come along." Parents protested. So the boy joined parents. There was a roundabout in full swing. Men, women, and children, carried away in a wheeling motion, shrieked and cried with a dizzy laughter. The child watched them intently, and then he made a bold request. "I want to go on the roundabout. Please, father, mother." You know what is a roundabout? Roundabout. In Telugu, we call it as Rangula Ratnam. You find it is a circle-like things. You find horses, round shape horses will be there, and then they go in a round direction, moving faster and faster. Small children will mount on the horses and they will make it rounds and rounds. It is very thrilling. So children, they like it very much. That's what we call roundabout. So when the boy came across that roundabout, he was more thrilled and he wanted to have a ride on those wooden horses. Father, will you please allow me to have a ride? Will you please? He was so much fascinated. Apart from all other things, this roundabout really fascinated this boy. So he was requesting his parents, "Will you please allow me," like that. There was no reply. As the boy was asking, he was not looking at his parents, in fact. He was just looking at the roundabout and he was asking his parents, "Will you please allow me to have a ride? Will you please allow me to have a ride?" It went on for a few minutes. So there was no reply from the parents. Then the boy looked up. Then what happened? That's what, there was no reply. He turned to look at his parents. They were not there ahead of him. He turned to look on either side. They were not there. He looked behind. There was no sign of them. So the boy just looked at this way, the right side, left side, here, there. He was trying to locate his parents, but they were not to be seen. And you can, my dear students, you can imagine the terrible fear when suddenly you don't find your parents there. Then how the child might have felt, just you imagine. A full deep cry rose within his dry throat, and with a sudden jerk of his body, he ran from where he stood, crying in real fear. Mother, father, tears rolled down from his eyes, hot and fierce. His flushed face was convulsed with fear. All of a sudden, he forgot everything. That I am in a, what we call, going to a fair and all such things, about so many interesting items that he came across. All these things he forgot and he lost, and his attention is only focused on his parents. Where are they? Why have they disappeared all of a sudden? So this fear gripped the boy. So he was panic stricken. Okay, panic stricken. He ran to one side first, then to the other, hither and thither in all directions, knowing not where to go. Mother, father, he wailed. His yellow turban came untied, and his clothes became muddy. So the whole situation, all of a sudden, it changed like anything. The boy was so happy with his parents, was enjoying the affair. The moment he came to know that his parents are missing, the boy became very much panic stricken, and he was trying to run here and there, hither and thither. It is a just see the phrase, hither and thither. That is, in other words, there is one more word for this, helter and skelter. Helter and skelter. Move, that means what is the meaning? Move frantically here and there. Hither and thither, helter and skelter. What does it mean? It means to move here and there. See what happens. For example, suppose suddenly you find one snake in your classroom. Then what you do? You run helter and skelter, you run hither and thither in great confusion, and you just jump through the windows and you want to run away from that place. Yes or no? Like that, the boy also, all of a sudden, fear gripped him. Though there were so many hundreds and hundreds of people in the fair, still he felt that he was isolated and there was nobody to take care of my parents. When my parents are there, I am not there, what am I to do? So the boy was trying to run hither and thither, helter and skelter in order to locate his parents. In the process, sometimes he was running the right side, and sometimes he was going on the left side, sometimes he was going back and again moving forward. He did not know what to do. The reason being, he was terribly worried about his parents. Okay. Having run to and fro in a rate of running for a while, he soon defeated. His cries suppressed into sobs. So initially he was crying. He was crying. But after some time, his cries turned into sobs. S-O-B-S. First initially cries, then to sobs. Sobs means Telugulo. Okay, so like that, earlier he was crying with his full throat. But after that, crying, he lost his energy. The small boy, he started sobbing. A little distances on the green grass, you could see through his filmy eyes, men and women talking. He tried to look intently among the patches of bright yellow clothes, but there was no sign of his father and mother among these people. He seemed to laugh and talk just for the sake of laughing and okay. So he was trying to look intently into the faces of so many people with a fond hope that he could find his father and mother. But in vain, he could not find them. He was just looking into the faces of so many people. And as he was looking like that, he was feeling more and more worry in his heart of hearts. Where are they? Where are they suddenly disappeared? Then what happened to me? How am I to go to my house? So all these things, the boy was terribly worried. Okay. He ran quickly He ran quickly again, this time to a shrine to which people seemed to be crowding. Every little inch of space here was congested with men, but he ran through the people's legs, his little sob lingering, Mother, Father, near the entrance to the temple. However, the crowd became very thick. Men jostled each other, heavy men with flashing, murderous eyes and hefty shoulders. Then as he was just moving and moving, suddenly he found a big shrine. Shrine means temple. There was a temple, so many people were going to the temple, and the boy also wanted to go there and search for his parents. So he just entered the temple, but there was so much of crowd, nobody bothered about this small boy. People are very busy, they want to move and have the darshan. They were not at all bothered. In the small boy, sometimes he was just passing through the legs of all these people, and sometimes he just fell down and they used to trample him under his feet. Nobody bothers. And the boy was shouting, Father, Mother, Father, Mother. Not even a single fellow stopped and looked at this boy. The pitiable condition the boy was shouting. Everybody was busy in their own way, going inside the temple. You can just imagine. You can just imagine the pathetic condition of the boy, trying to find out his parents. They were not there, and just got into the crowd, and he fell down. People are going over his body. Nobody was kind enough to lift him up and say, how are you, my boy, why you were crying? What happened to you? Nobody was bothered. The poor child struggled to thrust a way between their feet, but knocked to and fro by their brutal movements. He might have been trampled underfoot, had he not shrieked at the highest pitch of his voice, Father, Mother. A man in the surging crowd heard his cry and, stooping with great difficulty, lifted him up in his arms. But the people were so busy, they were not at all, they did not want to even for a minute to stop there and look at the boy. They were almost walking over him. Then suddenly, one kind-hearted man, he heard the cries of this boy, Father, Mother. He was just crying. His heart melted, and with great difficulty, he bent down and picked up this boy who was almost being run over by these brutal people, I would like to say. And the boy, this kind-hearted man, with great difficulty, he could pick up this boy, and he lifted him, and he just came out of that crowd. Okay, so that was the situation. Okay, my dear students, we will take up the remaining portion in the next class. Okay.